to another episode of Coaching with Sarah. This question is from Lauren. It says, is there an emotional root / cause for leaky gut and gut inflammation? Yes, girl, there is. So these are all very intuitive, and once I say them, they often feel, I think, really obvious, but I also am speaking from the person who's like geeked out and read like 5 books on this stuff. So I'm hoping that this will kind of click as I describe this visual for you. So when we think about leaky gut, we think about the tight junctions or the lining of your intestines. So think of your intestines, really sexy, I know, and think about those tight junctions, but instead of them being tight, the lining of the gut now becomes semi-permeable. You may already know this. So if we think about it like this, now it's like this, and leaky gut now is allowing things from our digestive tract and our digestive process and system, things like, proteins and undigested food, so on and so forth, to seep out into the bloodstream. So it's getting through these little holes and going out into the bloodstream and potentially going where, it's not supposed to go, but also creating inflammation, creating an autoimmune reaction where the body thinks that, oh, that's an invader. I need to protect you from it. So there's obviously the science behind it, but I want to share that visual before I talk about the emotion, because now we can think about, well, there's these things that are like invading our body, these like microorganisms, these little particles, these undigested substances that are invading the body. And so the emotional root of leaky gut is not having strong boundaries. So think of it like the wall of your gut, where it's like, I've got a strong ass boundary here versus I've got some wishy-washy boundaries in my life. Meaning, how do you allow yourself to be treated by the world? What is a yes for you? What is a no for you? Do you maintain and uphold your boundaries when it feels like somebody is teetering on the edge of disrespecting you or breaking your trust or whatever that may be? So the emotional root or cause of leaky gut goes back to boundaries, which I know so many highly sensitives and empaths have some challenge with, because we want to make everyone happy, and there's oftentimes like this trauma that's related to people pleasing and so many stories around that and how we're supposed to be in our life. But really healing the gut, of course, you can approach it from a physical lens, but when you approach it from an emotional lens, it really goes back to creating strong boundaries in your life. What are you going to allow into your space, and what are you not going to allow into your space? And can you manage your energy and uphold your boundaries in a way that is grounding and firm for you, and being really true to yourself? And the gut inflammation is similar but different. So gut inflammation, you think about cartoon characters, and when a cartoon character gets like their thumb hit by a hammer, what happens on the cartoon? Well, their thumb turns all red and big, right? And it's like this pulsating bloody thumb when someone gets hit in a cartoon. Well, that's representative of inflammation. So when our gut is inflamed, it is inflammation of think of it as like undigested thoughts. So there's inflammatory and undigested thoughts that are happening in your life. So inflammatory thoughts are like self-critical thoughts, negative belief patterns, could be related back to the boundaries in the leaky gut. And so those thoughts are creating this inflammation, that red hotness that is also related to sometimes anger. So people are crossing my boundaries, and people are getting on my nerves, and I'm getting inflamed by these things in my life, and I'm actually angry about it, regardless of whether you express that anger or frustration or not. That can often be underneath that. So I would definitely look at boundaries and your internal thought process, and what thoughts are not feeling so good or feel inflammatory, feel like they're not processing and digesting very smoothly, and consider doing even some subconscious reprogramming within your major thought patterns, and considering what people are also creating like a red hot kind of inflammation, anger, frustration, resentment for you in your life, and then create boundaries around that. So it does kind of create this whole loop and cycle of how to treat it from an emotional health lens. All right. I hope this has been really helpful for you, Lauren, and everyone listening, because I know there's so many women in this community and so many people in the world these days who also have inflammation in their gut and or leaky gut. All right, I'll see you guys in the next call.